First green card. I'm usually a big fan of green. I love green. So hopefully green's doing good. Barkskin Duo is a 2-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, create a food. Sure. And when you expend 4, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. I mean, sorry, I've had a bit of a sore throat for a couple of days, so this is I'm having a bit of a rough one with all this talking. This is fine. It's a 2-mana 2/2 that makes a food. I don't know how much the expend 4 is going to happen, and if it does, maybe it matters, but probably not. It's just a 2/2 that makes a food. That's fine. Bark Knuckle Boxer. 2-mana 3/2 that when you expend 4 gains indestructible till end of turn. Again, I'm not sure how much you're going to be expending for, but a 2-mana 3/2 is good, fine. I mean, it's good. And it can occasionally gain indestructible, which is probably better. So, yeah, it's good, I think. Fine. I'm not going to say really good, because I don't know how much you're triggering the indestructible, but it's fine. Bramble Guard Veteran is a 3-mana 3/4. Whenever you expend 4, raccoons you control get +1/+1 and gain Digidism. Raccoon. Yes, they are. Okay. Again, if you're expending 4, currently nothing expends 4 apart from playing these two back to back. But if you can regularly expend 4. So, question: you said the booster packs change the cards reward from pack soon. Will that be bad if I'm trying to get vampire cards? What do you mean? Booster packs change the cards rewarded from packs soon. I don't think they do. I think that the packs on MTG Arena are set, but every time you open 6 packs, you get a wild card, which you can use to craft any card you want. So I don't think there's a problem. I think you can sit on those cards for as long as you want. There are specific sets that have vampires in them. So if you're going to buy booster packs, you might want to buy those. But I don't think booster packs change the rewards. Not on MTG Arena, at least. Not in real life, either. If you buy a booster pack, you get what's in the booster pack. So, no, I think you're okay. Yeah, I like Bramble Guard Veteran, actually. I'm going to like a lot of these green cards, I'll tell you now, because they're going to be, big stuff. But we still haven't found anything that just costs 4. Bushy Bodyguard. 2 mana for a 2/1 with Offspring. When this creature enters, you may forage. If you do, put 2+1/+ counters on it. Okay, so this is a 2 mana 4/3 that can be a 4 mana 4/3 and a 3/3. Okay, I got confused. My bad. T-Way for correcting my thoughts. Really appreciate it. Oh, no worries. No worries. No, the booster packs should or will be whatever is in that set. Like, they're all set dependent. It's just the wild cards you can choose to be whatever you want, which is good. I like doing that. I think this card's pretty good. 2 mana, 2/1 that can be a 4/3 and can also come with a 3/3 on turn 4 if you have enough cards in your graveyard or multiple. I like this card. I think this card's good. Cash Grab. 2 mana instant. Mill 4 cards. You may put a permanent card from among cards milled this way into your hand. If you control a squirrel or returned a squirrel card this way, create a food token. Do I have to open 6 at a time? No. It usually, I don't know if you're on MTG Arena at the moment, but it has like a little, when you're opening packs, it has like a little circle that shows you how many packs you've opened. And every time you open a pack, it'll fill up a bar, and you just need to, fill it up a couple of times. That's all right. MTGA's, it's just kind of the best way to play Magic at the moment. Unless you have a, and if you've got a very close game store with a bunch of people that play, that's probably better, but I don't. The closest game store is like 4 hours away. So I play a lot of Magic Online. And the best way I think to do that is Magic the Gathering Arena, because Magic Online, which is the other way to do it, is insanely complicated and is like trying to play Magic in a Excel spreadsheet, and it just hurts my brain. I do not. Same 4 hours. Yeah, yeah. Bit sad, but it's just the way it is, I guess. A lot more people buy their cards offline, and because they buy cards offline, there's a lot less of like nerd shops. There weren't a massive amount of nerd shops in the first place, but yeah, it's just a lot less of them now. What do I think? I think cash grab's good, just as another way to generate food. Although usually when I see cards like this, I'd prefer to just be playing another creature rather than playing this card. So, eh, I, it's fine. It's not too exciting. I'd probably just prefer another creature. Cliff Top Lookout. 3 mana 1/2 with reach. And when it enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card on the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's ramp. I like ramp. It's ramp attached to a creature. That's fine. I like this. Like, it's a 3 mana 1/2 with reach, so it's gonna get run over by just about fucking everything. But it's ramp. We like ramp. And it's not like basic land either. It's any land, which is good. Curious Forager is a 3 mana 3/2. When it enters, you may forage. When you do, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, this is probably pretty good. Recursion. Recursion's not bad, even if you have to exile some stuff from your graveyard or sack a food. There's a lot of food generations you could probably get by just by sacking foods on this. So, yeah, I think most of green's going to be like food and then foraging with food, which is better than. I mean, black's obviously got a lot of. One more question. I had a friend send me a really nice present, a gaming laptop for free, and I'm looking to get him a gift. What would you recommend for an MTG present? Ooh. I mean, it would depend what he's got. Like, because you can get custom made playmats or just really nice MTG playmats, but it would depend if he already has a playmat. You could get there's like really really cool deck boxes you can get. You could just buy him. I mean, like, you could go really crazy and get him some of the like really rare cards. Maybe he'd like that, but again, that can get real pricey. It depends what sort of how MTG focused he is. Like, I don't know. It would be I need to know a little bit more about what he likes in MTG and and a whole bunch of other stuff. But there's a lot of pretty cards you could purchase, but again, they can get really expensive if they're special cards, like hundreds if not thousands of dollars, which is a lot. Like, I wouldn't spend that much on a card, but and then obviously, like I said, you can get custom made or just really nice looking playmats. I have a playmat, MTG Historical. Again, the problem is there's so many things you could get. Like I said, playmats, custom playmats, custom deck boxes. You could get him some very pretty newer cards. You could get him some very rare older cards, but they're all gonna be sort of price ranging from $20 to $50 for like cool deck boxes or playmats, all the way up to like what was it, like $12,000 for a first edition Alpha Black Lotus and stuff like that. Like, it depends. Depends what you want to get him. I mean, to be fair, the most expensive card is still that one ring card that was bought for like $2 million, but like I wouldn't worry about something like that. But there's a lot of very cool historical cards that you can get, but they're very expensive because a lot of them are rare. So I don't know. For me, I'd probably just, get him a nice. Do you think he will love booster pack boxes? I mean, if he likes the set, that's the thing. You'd have to find out what sort of Magic cards, either new set or old set, that he really likes. And then if you bought him a booster pack box of that, I'm sure he'd really like it. Because he could open a bunch of boosters, have a bunch of have a bunch of cards from the set. And if it's a new set, maybe he'd use some of the cards. If it's an old set, he could just like having some of the cool cards that he was looking for at the time. But you need to like specifically find out which one he wants. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the Magic again quickly, because I'm quickly running out of the ability to speak, and we need to get through a lot more Magic cards. Sounds like I need to investigate. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot you can get someone for Magic, and because it's not just like, the thing is, if you buy him a random booster pack box, it might have nothing he's interested in. He might still like being able to open the cards, but it might just not be of any interest. No, don't worry. I like talking to everybody, but these usually I'd finish in 10 minutes. Usually 2 o'clock is the end of my stream. Sometimes I go an hour longer, sometimes a couple of hours longer, depending on if I'm playing a game and what's going on and what I'm enjoying. This is the only stream where I have to just sit here and talk consistently, and usually they go for like a couple of extra hours, and by the end of it, my throat is like so destroyed I can barely speak. And yeah, it's just it takes a lot to do these. I love doing them, but yeah, it can hurt by the end. Anyway, we've done Curious Forager. Druid of the Spade. 3 mana for a 2/3. As long as you control a token, Druid of the Spade is a 4/3 with trample. I mean, there's lots of ways to generate tokens. Probably isn't bad. Like, it's nothing massively exciting, but, fine. The 3 mana 4/3 with trample. Good stats. Sure. But Fessund Green Shell, I can't say that word, is a 5 mana 4/6 with reach. As long as you control 10 or more lands, creatures you control get +2/+2. Okay. Whenever Green Shell or another creature you control with toughness greater than its power enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped, otherwise put it in. This card's really good. It's a 5 mana 4/6 with reach. When it enters, it does something. Maybe get you a land, otherwise put it into your hand. And it will continue to do things if your opponent doesn't get rid of it. And if you get to 10 lands, this is like game winning. All your creatures get +2/+2. That's crazy. I like this card a lot. I think this card is very good. For the common good, 1 green double X. Create X tokens that are copies of target token you control. Then tokens you control gain indestructible until your next turn. You gain 1 life for each token you control. But this is sorcery speed, so what does them being indestructible even matter? So how many tokens do you get? So for 1, 2, 3, it's 1 token. For 2, 4, 5, it's odd numbers essentially. So 3 is 1, 5 is 2, 7 is 3, 9 is 4. I mean, okay. There's a lot of tokens in this set. This could be busted with certain tokens. But I'm trying to... What tokens have we seen that are absolutely nuts? Actually, there are some really good ones with the rabbits, right? There's the red guy that gives things double strikes and trample. Yeah, okay. Okay, this could be very good. I'm not gonna slate this card. I'm not sure, but this could be very good. Gale Wind Moose is a 6/6 for 6 with flash, vigilance, reach, and trample. Love it, big boy. I'd play it 100%. There's not much to say about this. This is just big with flash, which is really good, but just big. Hazard Root Herbalist, a 3 mana 1/4. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gets +1/+1/+0 until end of turn. If that creature is a token, it also gains Death Touch until. I like this. It turns your 1/1 tokens into 2/1s that your opponent doesn't want to block because they have Death Touch. So in like a white-green rabbit mouse token deck, I like this a lot. Heaped Harvest. 3 mana for an artifact food. When it enters the battlefield, when it enters and when you sacrifice it, you may search your library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. I like this. This I like a lot. This I like a lot. 3 mana, search for a basic land. 2 mana, search for another basic land, gain 3 life. This is good. I would use this. I think, yeah, I'd like this. I mean, combined with like this thing, yeah, I'm a big fan of Heaped Harvest. I like that. I like my ramp anyway. High Stride, 1 mana instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains reach until turn. Untap it. I think we've seen something very similar to this before. It's fine. It's more of a defensive spell. I probably wouldn't run it in limited, but there is always that one chance when your opponent swings with a big flyer and then you just use this and they just get sad. Hey Lee, how you doing? It's okay. It's fine. Hive Spine Wolverine is a 5 mana 5/4, and when it enters, you can either put a +1/+1 counter on it to make it a 6/5. You can have it fight a creature token, or you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. I like this. I think I'd play this. I think I'd play this in limited, definitely. Because it's either a 5 mana 6/5, a 5 mana 5/4 that kills a creature token, or a 5 mana 5/4 that destroys an artifact or enchantment, whichever one you need. Like, a 5 mana 6/5 is still going to be the biggest boy. Probably. So, yeah, I like this card. This card's good. Oh, green's got some nice big chunky things. I'm a big fan. Honored Dray Leader. Okay. 3 mana for a 1/1 with trample. Oh, but when it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other squirrel and or food token you. Whenever another squirrel or food token you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter. This is very, very strong. Hey Sasha, how you doing? Good to see you. At least I think this is very, very strong, right? Yeah, it's got to be, right? 3 mana if you've already got some food or some squirrels down. This just is jacked with trample, and then every time you play a squirrel or create a food afterwards, they just get big. It just gets bigger and bigger. This is good. I like this card. This is a good card for squirrels. I don't know how many squirrels we've got. We've probably been through a bunch of squirrels. I just haven't really been paying attention. But yeah, a lot of squirrels. Hunter's Talents. This is the uncommon class. 2 mana, when it enters, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Love it. It's removal. We're already starting off well. For an extra 2, whenever you attack, attacking creature gets +1/+1 against trample until end. Still very good. For 4, at the beginning of your step, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. This is great. This is a fight effect, giving things trample and draw all on the same enchantment in green. This is fucking good. I like this card. I like this card a lot. Yeah. And it's got a tiny little hedgehog on it. I like it. I like that card. Innkeeper's Talent. Okay, this is the rare version. 2 mana. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Already pleased with that one. For 1 extra mana, permanents you control with counters on them have Ward 1. This is very good as well. I like this already. For 4, if you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice. So this is doubling. Not quite doubling season because you don't get to do the tokens, but it's double. These two, Hunter's Talent, Innkeeper's Talent, are both incredible. I would run both of these. These are really, really good. Yeah, I would run both of these. Keen-Eyed Curator is a 2 mana 3/3. Right? As long as there are 4 or more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, it gets +4/+4 and has trample. So it's a 2 mana 7/7. 4 people on stream. Sweet. More people is always good. I mean, I'm just going through the newest MTG set, so I just hope people are enjoying themselves. I mean, technically it's not a 2 mana 7/7. It's 2 mana, and then you'd have to dump 4 more mana into it, so it's technically a 6 mana 7/7. Yeah, but like, I mean, you can play this on turn 3 and it's already ahead of the curve. And then you can just start chewing cards up. Like, exiling a card from a graveyard is an upside. That's something you want to do with these cards. And then getting it to be a 7/7 with trample, that's so good. That's really good. I like that card. I have for one. What do you mean? Sorry, Sasha, I'm not sure what you're saying. Longstalk Brawl. 1 mana sorcery. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. Put a +1/+1 counter on the creature you control if the gift was promised. Then those creatures fight. Okay. And the gift is they get a 1/1 blue fish token that's tapped. So this is green removal. This is always good. 1 mana green removal. Pretty good as well. I mean, this is like Prey Upon, I guess, but you can get an upside to Prey Upon because Prey Upon was 1 mana fight. But it looks like most of the green things are going to be bigger than everything else. So fight effects are usually good in green because your stuff's just bigger. BloomSburrow of the Woods. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh, thank you for the resubscribe, Lee. The camera? Best sub in the world. Thank you very much. It is much appreciated. Right, so it's a 6 mana star with vigilance and reach. Power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control, so it's a 6 mana 6/6. And when it enters, mill 4 cards, then return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So this could be a 6 mana 10/10 if you just hit all lands. Are we swarming later? Hopefully. I don't know exactly because I don't know how long this is going to take, and I think Bradley wants to do some shopping. But I would like to play some Swarm later if we can, yes. But yeah, I like this card. This card is... Ooh. Bye and luck for you. Thank you. See you later, Sasha. It was good of you to come hang out. It was much appreciated, really. Yeah, I'm loving all of green right now. Green is just big boys, and they're just big. I know black has got a million pieces of removal, so black's gonna make me sad, but this is good. Mist Breath Elder, a 1 mana 2/2. Okay, at the beginning of your upkeep, so this has to survive for a turn. Return another creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter. It's not a May, though. You have to. Put a +1/+1 counter on Mistbreath Elder. Otherwise, you may return Mistbreath Elder to its owner's hand. Oh, you don't have to return this. Okay. So you do have to return another creature. Oh, no, you don't. So, yeah, it's written weirdly, but you can return another creature and make this bigger, or you can choose not to return this. Okay. I mean, it's a 1-mana 2/2, bigger than most of the stuff in the set. It grows. It does the stuff frogs want to do, which is bouncing things. I don't know how good Frog is as an archetype, but yeah. There's a frog that gives all frogs ward. Could be good. I don't know. Overprotect. 2 mana for target creature you control gets +3/+3, trample, hexproof, and indestructible. I'm happy about for pump spells. Makes me big, makes me trample, and also protects me from removal. Big fan, like it. Patchwork Formation. 2 mana to choose 1. Destroy target creature with flying. Okay. Destroy target enchantment. Okay. Draw a card and create a food. I think this is good. Just because you can always just 2 mana draw a card and create a food at the end of your opponent's turn. There's a lot of stuff with flying that you're going to want to destroy, and with all these class cards, there's certainly a few enchantments that could do with getting blown up as well. So I think this card is good. I like weirdly good, like better than it should be, in limited at least. Or patch Recruit, a 1 mana 2/1 with trample and offspring of 2. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control other than that creature. Okay, yeah, so you can make 2 of these and you can put the +1/+1 counters on things. I like this. I think you always offspring this, right? Because you're not playing this on turn 1. I don't think. Turn 2, I don't think you care. Turn 3, you just offspring it. I think you're always doing this on turn 3. But yeah, I think this card's good. Very good. I think a lot of the green cards are very good, but that's just because I'm inclined to green cards. Peerless Recycling. 2 mana to return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If you gift, which is your opponent gets to draw a card, promised, instead return 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Again, I don't know how good these are in limited, but this is fine because it returns any permanent you want for 2. It's just if you want the extra value, you give your opponent a card draw or an extra card. Again, most of the time I just prefer to have an extra creature, but sure, why not? Like, there's another creature that does the same thing all the way back here, right? Way back here. Oh my god. This thing. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. I just prefer to have this rather than this. But, you know, that's just me. Pollywallop. Okay. 4 mana. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each frog you control. So is this the frog removal? Target creature you control deals damage equal to twice its power to target creature you don't control. Yes. This is very good if you've got enough frogs to make it 1. For 1 mana, this is crazy. 2 mana, this is probably still good. 3 mana, now it's starting to get a bit overpriced. 4 mana, this is bad. So, but it is still removal. So I think you still take it, especially if you're playing frogs. Because it is still removal. And removal is always premium. Ugh. Sorry, my throat's starting to go again. Rust Shield Rampager. 4 mana for a 4/4. This creature can be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And we can offspring it to make a 1/1 that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. I don't know how much you care to offspring this thing. I think you just play it as a 4 mana 4/4 that can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. I don't think you care to offspring it, but you know, if you have the extra mana, why not? This is a fine card. This is another like pack fillery fine average card. Scrap Shooter is a 3 mana 4/4 with gift. Your opponent gets to draw a card. It has reach, and when it enters, if the gift was promised, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. This is really good as well. This is just a 3 mana 4/4 with reach that if your opponent has an artifact or enchantment you need to get rid of, just let them draw a card and blow it up. And you've still got a 3 mana 4/4 with reach on the field. This is really good. Green's got a lot of creatures that are overstatted. This green might just overwhelm and just smash people. Season of Gathering. So here's the green season. So for 6 mana, you can put 5 +1/+1 counters on a creature you control. You can right. It gains vigilance and trample until end of turn. You can choose artifact or enchantment, destroy all permanents of the chosen type, and you can do both. Or draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. I mean, this is it. This is good just for the draw, right? You pay 6, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on something, it gains vigilance and trample, and then draw at least 3 cards. Because green doesn't really get access to that much draw. I mean, Harmonize is what? 4 mana, draw 3 cards, and it's one of the best green spells. This is 6, but it's not just 6, draw 3, but also something on your field gets +2/+2 and has vigilance and trample. I think this is another good season. I think only the red season misses. I think this is another good season. Because like that is assuming the one I just gave you, where you draw 3 cards and are left with a 3/3. That is assuming that the only thing you have when you play this card in limited is a 1/1. So on turn 6, you have a 1/1 and nothing else, and you get a 3/3 and draw 3 cards. Like if you have any sizable minion, you can draw 5, 6, maybe more off of this. And obviously, drawing green is like green's one major weakness. So yeah, I think the green season is also very good. Maybe not the best, but very good. Sticky Tongue Sentinel is a 3 mana 3/3 with reach, and when it enters, return up to 1 target permanent you control to its owner's hand. The frogs do a lot of this bouncy stuff, and has there been like a massive payoff apart from drawing extra cards with the blue frog yet? Not really. And this isn't a may either, you have to. Sure. Stocking the Pantry, a 1 mana enchantment. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, put a supply counter on Stocking the Pantry. 2 to remove a supply counter, and then draw a card. This is actually this is probably pretty good if you've got ways to do +1/+1 counters. Like, just because, like I said, green really needs draw, and this is draw for green. So as long as you've got good ways to do +1/+1 counters, I think this card is very good. Sun Shower Druid, a 1 mana 0/2. When Sun Shower Druid enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and you gain 1. There's some +1/+1 counter synergy, and this is a frog you want to bounce a lot. Costs 1, gives you a +1/+1 counter, and gains you a life. This you want to be bouncing a lot. So this I can see being like a core component of the frog bouncy deck. Tender Wild Guide, a 2-mana 2/2 with Offspring. This is insane. So it's either a 2-mana 2/2 that counts as ramp or pump with no cost, or it's 4 mana for a 2/2 and a 1/1, both of which are ramp or pump. This is really, really good. If you see this card, strongly consider playing green. This is very, very strong. Green's got some serious love this set. I'm a big fan. Thorn Vault Forager is a 2-mana 2/2 that can tap for 1, so ramp. Tap, forage, so sacrifice a food or exile 3 cards from your graveyard. Add 2 mana. Or 4 and tap, search your library for a squirrel card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. This is also really fucking good. Oh my god, there's a lot of really, really good green cards. Again, there's a lot of black removal, which is going to be the counter to green, but I don't know if any other colors really have a way. I think green you splash with almost every color just because the cards are really good, right? Yeah, that card is real. Free Root Weaver, 2 mana 1/3 that can add 1 mana of any color. Love it, absolutely love it. All of these mana cards, I'm loving. 3 Tree Scribe, 2 mana for a 2/3. When it or another creature you control leaves the battlefield without dying, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is going to be another core component in the frog thing. We're starting to actually see the payoff cards. So a lot of the payoff cards for the frog seem to be in green. But yeah, this is going to make some very big frogs very fast. Free Guard Duo is a 4 mana 3/4. When it enters, until end of turn, target creature you control gets Vigilance and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. That could be very big. Yeah, I think this is okay as well. I think all of these cards are doing. Green is getting some real good cards. I think it's going to be a mixture of like green and black as to who has the best cards. For limited at least. White's got some very good cards as well, actually. Treetop Sentries is a 4 mana 2/4 with reach. When it enters, you may forage. If you do, draw a card. A good squirrel card. I mean, it's got draw in it. We like that for green. You know, I wouldn't say it's massively exciting, but it's certainly good. Valley Might Cooler. Okay, so this is the cooler. A 1 mana 1/1 with trample, and whenever you play anything in green, it gets +1/+1. This is a really good card as well. Again, if you see this card, you're probably running green, because this card is really good. Every time you play a creature, which you want to do in limited because that's how you're going to win, this just grows, is so good. Especially because this works with frogs, because frogs are going to bounce each other and keep going and going and going. So you can keep getting this bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's got trample. This is a very good card. Wear Down, 2 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Gift was promised instead, destroy 2 target artifacts. Sure, it's fine. There's a lot of artifacts, well, there's a lot of enchantments in this set that might be a problem, so sure. Like, I feel like, yeah. Hey Luna, how you doing?